Welcome to Kautilya. In today's class, we are going to discuss about origin of the Earth. In the previous class, I discussed about the universe and origin of the stars, origin of the galaxies, and I explained you the origin of the solar system from a solar prominence. In the previous class itself, I mentioned you these planets in the solar system are evolved from the single source, which is solar prominence, which has given birth to the sun as well as to other planets. So here in this class, once again I am going to discuss about the origin of the Earth. Now if you coming to the origin of the Earth, there were different theories, hypotheses postulated by different philosophers from different countries of the world. And the first person who gave a proposition about the origin of the Earth was Immanuel Kant, a Greek philosopher, a German philosopher, Immanuel Kant, and it is the gaseous hypothesis of this Immanuel Kant. And according to him, there was a cloud of gas, and this cloud of gas starts to rotate around itself, and this cloud of gas, when it starts to rotate around itself, accrete all the dense matter at the center and all the light matter at its edges. Now these light matter at the edges start to detach from the main rotating system, and this dense core remains present in the center. So this is how the dense core leads to formation of the sun, and these detached materials later led to the formation of the planets. So that is how all the planets in the solar system evolved in the same way. And in this case, according to this theory, there were 9 rings which were detached from this rotating cloud of gas, and these 9 rings given birth to 9 planets, and in that way the Earth came into being, and the remaining part given birth to the sun. Similarly, here in the picture you can see this is the sun, this is actually the solar prominence. When the solar prominence starts to rotating around itself, and the dense core remained at the center, led to formation of the sun, and these are the planets which were evolved from the sun at different points of time and given birth to different planets. So this is proto-Earth, proto-Mars, proto-Vesta, or proto-Jupiter, like this, right? Now there are some other theories which were proposed by the different philosophers at different points of time, and these are of course illogical and unscientific, but they may be asked in the examination. So in the examination you may get just the theory and his proponent. So the list of the theories which is spoken about the origin of the Earth were right from the gaseous theory of Immanuel Kant. The first theory which gave details about the origin of the Earth is gaseous theory of Immanuel Kant. Gaseous theory of Immanuel Kant. And after this, the next theory given by nebular hypothesis. Nebular hypothesis, and these nebular hypotheses are proposed by Chamberlain. Nebular hypothesis proposed by Laplace. Nebular hypothesis proposed by Laplace, and there are so many similarities between gaseous theory of Immanuel Kant and nebular hypothesis of Laplace. That's how in later these two theories were combined, and it is called as gaseous nebular hypothesis. The combination of these two theories is gaseous nebular hypothesis by Kant and Laplace. Gaseous nebular hypothesis by Kant and Laplace. Then the one more theory which spoken about the origin of the Earth is tidal hypothesis. Tidal hypothesis by James Jeans and Jeffreys. Tidal hypothesis by James Jeans and Jeffreys. And later double star theory proposed by Hoyle and Littleton. So these are the different theories which is spoken about the origin of the, but all these theories were proven as wrong, and today we are taking the Big Bang theory as the most prominent theory because it gave the scientific explanation about the origin of the stars, galaxies and these star systems, and from the same star systems our planets were evolved. Today our sun, our solar system is a star system, and these sun and all the planets are evolved from the same solar prominence as I shown in the picture here. So that means after discussing all these theories, we can believe that today the present sun and the remaining planets belongs to same parent material. The parent material of the sun and the planets is one and the same. Right. That's about the theories about origin of the earth. Now see, this is how some planets are evolved from the solar prominence, which is very globular mass of gas with very high temperatures because of the nuclear fusion reactions. At that time some material gets detached from the sun, and these detached materials given birth to different planets. Now when this earth had been evolved as a gaseous capsule from the solar prominence, at that time this earth was completely under gaseous state, and there were some dust particles and with the very high temperatures. Now this earth was also seems to be a gaseous planet with very high temperatures at its center and along with the dust particles. Now these gaseous planets and these dust particles at the center of the earth, they melt due to the very high temperatures, and they given birth to molten rock material inside the earth. Now inside the earth, it is the surface of the earth. Inside the earth, the dust particles, the remnant part of other materials under very high temperatures, they are in the molten state, and this molten material is nothing but magma. And this magma, because of its viscous nature, it starts to erupt. So this magma, because of its viscous nature, it starts to erupt like a fluid. So this molten material inside the earth starts to erupt, and it given birth to this magmatic activity. So this is how some of the gaseous material also released from inside earth, and it erupted onto the surface, and some magmatic material erupted onto that surface, and finally the surface of the earth is covered with these globular mass of the magmatic material. This is the magmatic material which erupted on the surface, and this is how the upper surface of the magma, which seems to be a red hot lava or magma. So when this magma reached onto that surface, it seems to be a lava. It is the solidified magma, or magma which is going to become solid material. So this is how, when initially the earth was in solid gaseous state, but later due to the magmatic activity it converted into the liquid state or magmatic state, and later finally it became like a barren land and complete earth. During the evolution of this earth, inside the earth, the material got differentiated. Inside the earth, the material got differentiated according to the density. So when the different materials were accrued inside the earth, there were some metallic material, mineral material, gaseous material and water vapor. All these materials got differentiated according to their densities. So here the most dense material gets concentrated here, then here the medium dense material gets concentrated here, then the light dense material gets concentrated here, and finally here very least dense material gets concentrated here. So this is the part where the highest dense material gets concentrated, and it is the area where the medium dense material gets concentrated, and it is the area where the light dense material, and it is the place where the least dense material gets concentrated. This is how inside the earth the material gets concentrated in the form of concentric circles according to their densities, and the most dense material gets concentrated at the center and the least dense material gets concentrated at the top. This is how during the evolution of the earth from its gaseous state to the liquid state, then finally solid state, inside the earth the material gets concentrated into different layers, and that given birth to internal structure of the earth. And later we given different names to this internal structure of the earth, and today we are calling it as crust, the uppermost layer, and this material is called as mantle, and this material is called as outer core, and the innermost part is called as inner core. So this is how our earth structure inside the earth has different layers with different densities, right? So with that we may conclude that this earth had been evolved from the solar prominence, and earlier it was in the gaseous state. Later, due to very high temperature, it is transformed into the liquid state, and finally it converted into the solid state. And along with its transformation from gaseous state to the solid state, inside the earth the materials gets concentrated in the form of concentric circles according to their densities, and that is how in the interior earth it given birth to multi-layered structure, right? Then today see, this is finally the shape, the present form of the earth, and here in the present form of the earth, here on the surface of the earth, these are the continents and oceans. On the surface of the earth, these are the continents and oceans. These are on the crust, on the top of the crust or top of the earth. And on the crust, you know, there are oceans, and which is called oceanic crust. There are lands which is called continental crust. And this land or this space, this topmost part of the earth, which is composed of the rocks or liths, is called lithosphere. Lithosphere is nothing but a component of the earth which is composed of the rocky material, which includes the crustal portion and some part of the mantle portion. This is lithosphere includes this crust and some portions of the mantle. Then it is the asthenosphere below this lithosphere. Asthenosphere is here below the lithosphere, and this asthenosphere is in a semi-liquid state, or it is in jelly type of material. It is fluid type of material, semi-liquid state, which is below the asthenosphere, below the lithosphere. Then it is upper mantle. Here if you see, this asthenosphere is part of the upper mantle, and it is after this upper mantle, below this upper mantle there will be lower mantle, and even below this lower mantle there will be outer core, which is in liquid form. Outer core is in liquid form, and it is the innermost part of the earth, innermost part, and this innermost part is in solid iron core. Later again I will discuss about the internal structure of the earth, and it is brief idea how this earth had been evolved, and it is the present form or present structure of the earth on its external structure as well as internal structure. On the external part we have continental crust, oceanic crust. On the internal part we have lithosphere, asthenosphere, upper mantle, outer core and inner core, right? So with that you are clear with the evolution of the earth as a planet. Now coming to earth particulars of the earth. Particulars of the earth. Particulars of the earth. Here, if you take up the shape of the earth, the present shape of the earth is geoid. The present shape of the earth is geoid. Means here this earth is bulges at its equator, bulges at its middle portion, here bulging, but flattens at its poles. So this shape which is bulges at the middle portion and flattens at the surface, bulges at the middle portion, flattens at the surface, is said to be geoid shape. Today the earth is geoid shape. It is not at all spherical shape, it is geoid shape, remember. Then I told you it is the densiest planet in the solar system, and its density is the average density is 5.5 gram per centimeter cube. and it has three important components like lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. Today the present earth has the land portion, and it has the water portion, and it has the air, sphere of the air. Now here this portion is called lithosphere. This portion which is composed of the water is hydrosphere, and this portion which is composed of the air is atmosphere. So these are the components of the earth, and these three components made this earth as a biosphere. So in the further topics we will discuss about this earth as a biosphere or earth as a bioplanet. Now coming to the particulars of the earth, to study about this earth we have to know a model of the earth. As I told you, the shape of the earth is geoid, but here we cannot have an object like geoid shape, but you will take globe as the paradigm or a model of the earth. So this globe we considered as a paradigm or a model of the earth, and by studying the structure of the globe we can understand some features of this earth surface, or to study about this atmosphere, to study about this lithosphere, to study about this hydrosphere, we have to know some model of the earth, and based on this model of the earth we can discuss about the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. That's how to study about this earth we are considering this globe as a model of the earth, as a paradigm of this earth. So that's why for a few minutes let me tell you what is this globe and how it is helpful to study about the earth. So globe is, it is a spherical object, it is a model of the earth. That's why from here onwards if I say globe, it is nothing but earth, or earth is nothing but globe. Now on this globe there is a grid system. Grid system means it is the combination of both horizontal and vertical lines. Now these individual units are called as grids. These units are called as grids. It is grid system. So this grid system which is present over the globe is the combination of these vertical lines. In general it is vertical lines, or these are longitudes, combination of the longitudes, as well as these are the horizontal lines or circles, these are latitudes. That's how to know about this earth, first we have to know about these latitudes and longitudes. So now I'm going to this topic, what are the latitudes and longitudes. Now if you take up the globe, these are the horizontal lines, or these are the circles on the globe, but on the plane there seems to be horizontal curves or horizontal lines. So these seems to be horizontal lines on the plane, but on the globe these are circles. So these horizontal lines on the globe, on the plane, but circles on the globe are called as latitudes, whereas these vertical lines are the semicircles. These semicircles are vertical lines which seems to be semicircles on the globe, but these are vertical curved lines on the plane. These are said to be longitudes. These are latitudes. For our convenience, we can understand latitudes are horizontal lines, longitudes are vertical lines. But in reality, latitudes are circles, complete circles around the globe. But longitudes are semicircles. These are semicircles which joins this north pole with the south pole. But for our convenience, or on a plane, these horizontal lines seems to be latitudes, or vertical lines are considered as longitudes. Now this is again the picture which shows the latitudes as the circles on the globe. These are the circles, complete circles. Now of these, the circle with maximum radius, it is the circle with maximum radius which is which divides this earth into two equal halves, and this circle is called great circle, and it is considered as the line which is passing through this great circle and divides this earth into two equal halves is considered as equator.